Hi, everybody, and welcome to this flip through of Wiley Games Arena of Blood. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is this is not Fistful of Lead Arena of Blood. That is because this is not one of our standard Fistful of Lead games. If you have played one of those before, you'll notice a few similarities, but this is not a Fistful of Lead game. This is its own thing. So let's get into it. First, we have an introduction. Talks about what you were playing and why. So you're taking the role of a Lenista, the owner of a ludus or a gladiator school, and you'll be putting together a group of gladiators to fight in the arena. Miniatures, you can use whatever you want. I like 28 millimeter. There's plenty of people who've played with 54. Can't think of anybody who does any smaller, but to each his own. Dice, we're using six-sided dice. That'll tell you right away that we are not playing with a standard Fistful of Lead game. This is its own thing. We're just using D6s, and you'll just need a handful of those. And because it's a Wiley Games, of course, we got to throw in some playing cards that you'll have to have. We'll have you can use just any old standard deck of playing cards, but of course, we'll be selling our own custom deck that is different from our Fistful of Lead decks because this is for Arena Blood. Your gaming area is just anything you want, and it's based. I use about an 18-inch round. That was what we play tested in. You can go smaller, especially if you're just doing one-on-one matches. You could do larger if you wanted to have 8 players going at it once, which we've done. We've played 16 before in play tests. But what you will notice is down here in the lower right, there is no measuring tape or ruler. You do not need them. What I've found from multiple decades of playing gladiator games and different gladiator games is you really just tend to run to the center and start wailing on each other. So when we originally were playtesting this, I had set it up first with measuring, which was a pain in the butt to get rulers down inside a arena, or a measuring tape. So I switched it to a grid, and then we just realized that no one was really using it. So we just skipped that part, made it faster. We have a section here on playing the game, and of course you get cards for activation. Each gladiator in the arena will get 4 cards that they get to choose from each turn, and starting at the highest and going to the lowest. And of course, there are special cards mixed in here, but they're slightly different than what you're used to if you've played one of our games. Each of the special cards does something, like Queen of Spades lets you intimidate your opponents. Queen of Hearts heals. Jacks of any suit let you roll an extra attack die. Sevens let you reroll. Sixes let you disengage from combat without suffering crowd displeasure, which we'll talk about. Twos of any suit, the gladiator can choose to reroll any of their dice, not just one. And aces, of course, are wild. So what you'll notice here is our gladiator cards. So gladiators have 4 ability slots. These are also how many wounds they have. So as they take wounds, they have to cover one of these ability slots with a wound marker, thus disabling it. So that becomes part of the game within the game, is deciding what you're going to lose. There are 7 different abilities. The lightning bolt, which lets you go first in combat. The net, which allows you to neutralize an opponent's skill. The sword, which allows you to roll, for each sword you have, you get to roll an extra die in combat. The die lets you reroll. The shield lets you block light blows, which we'll talk about that. Bows allow you to range combat, and the horse allows you to disengage from combat without having to roll because you're big. We go through combat here. Combat's pretty simple when you're rolling your dice. You're hitting on a 1 or 3 is a miss, a 4 or 5 is a light blow, and a 6 is a mighty blow. A mighty blow bypasses any armor that you might have and forces a gladiator to have to cover up one of their ability slots. A light blow is just a temporary, doesn't affect, but if you get another light blow, that equals a mighty blow, and then you are wounded. So, and when you fight, you are looking at which gladiator has the most lightning bolts. Even if you activated first, either and moved into an opponent, if they have more lightning bolt ability than you do, they will get to strike first. So this is how we've worked out lighter, faster gladiators. So without having to have movement rates and stuff, this is how we simulate that they are faster in a fight. They're not going to have the staying power of the heaviers, but they can they get in licks. And then, like I said before, if your gladiator has nets, you can disable an ability on another gladiator, which it comes in handy when you're fighting a heavier gladiator than yourself. But the person who is being netted has to decide which one of their abilities has temporarily been disabled. Or I'm sorry, I have that the other way around. The attacker has the ability to cover up an ability on the other player, and that becomes a tactical choice. Do you cover up their sword, their ability to attack? Do you cover up their armor, making it easier for you to wound them? That sort of thing. And then the gladiator that you are fighting is to fight back, called battling back. So we have some examples of combat. You can see in this we do have ranged gladiators. So a lot of gladiator games I've played in to skip over this. They were rare. You had the Sagittarius, who was the bowman. You had the Vila, who were like the light infantry or the light troops of the Romans. So you had a guy in a wolf head throwing javelins. So, but we have those rules in here. So, if you want to leave combat and I'm going to back away from another player, we talk about how you can do that. This is good for your ranged combatants who don't want to get stuck in and they want to fall back so they can take a shot. Or you can step out to take a breather, which is a way you can get your health back. But if at any point you are not attacking your opponent when you activate, you will get crowd displeasure, and they're booing you for not staying on the offensive. And during the match, your opponent can use crowd displeasure against you to make you re-roll dice. If you accrue a certain amount of them, you will lose the match. So here we talk about taking a breather, and we also have mounted gladiators. So if you have them in your collection, you can use those. Again, they're rare, but it's always fun to have them covered too. And rules for animals, in which were like a big part of gladiatorial matches. We have types of matches you can have, and how a match ends. So matches only last 3 turns, so which would be like 12 cards, but usually we've only had that rarely go to where you go through all 3 turns. We do a brief description of different gladiators and what they usually had. Talk about campaigns, so you can do a campaign in an evening. We talk about healing between matches, replacements, glory, which is how you decide who wins your campaign. Designing arena and talking about how you can use this for any genre you want. So if you wanted to make this a fantasy game, or if you wanted to make this like a post-apocalyptic, for instance, so you want to put an elf in there, well, a bow-wielding Sagittarius is easily just an elf, or a nasty net-flinging gnoll is just a Retiaris, or if you have a big hulking orc, it's a Murmelo. But you can do a post-apocalyptic, you get guy on a motorcycle with a chain, and you just use the card for the Cataphractarius, which is a mounted gladiator. And then I kind of talk about our philosophy. Uh, this game basically started out as a medieval melee combat that I had been running for years. It was like at tournaments between the jousts, the knights would also fight a foot combat called the melee, and that's where this started and turned into gladiators. We're giving you the gladiator cards for, I believe it's 16 gladiators plus 3 animals. These will be available if you do the pre-order for free and then 99 cents later. So of course you're not cutting up your book or having a photocopy. And we have our quick reference sheet, and that's about it. So nice tight set of rules. This is a great game for either putting on between larger games. Matches can go pretty quick. That's why it's great for running campaigns in an evening. So hope you enjoyed this flip through, and keep an eye out for our pre-order on Wiley-Games.com.